Can you all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Good, good, good. Hi, Chantal. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, everyone. I've been lurking a little bit early. I'm going to start the video so I don't have to leave it running. Streaming on YouTube this morning. Don't forget, our lifetime software sale is over tomorrow at midnight. Let me post that. And it does include 6 months in the trade room, just so you know. Lifetime software does include 6 months in the trade room. All right, everyone. Let's get started. Welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus preliminary GDP, PCE price index, core durable goods, oil open, and the U.S. market open. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. I am not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. And why do I have that screen in here? No idea. All right. Got to get rid of that screen.
Secured overnight financing
How's
rate
everybody doing this morning?
3.68% December
Got a little
22nd versus
snow in Pennsylvania.
3.66% December 19th.
So let's talk briefly. Right now, 8:15, we've got the ADP report, right? Weekly jobless claims. What I think we should do this morning is make it a magnet morning. That's what I would do. There's no possible way to know what's going to happen during durable goods, PCE price index, and GDP. I believe GDP is the most important trade report this morning. GDP has been incredibly difficult to trade in general. We don't have a great setup, and we haven't had a great setup in quite a while. Look, the MNQ breakout is reasonably low risk, but these reports don't normally trade together, and there's no possible way that we could have a reliable, accurate setup. Anything that you do, and it's holidays. Preliminary is more important, Nitin. Preliminary is the most important read. It goes preliminary, advanced, final. Preliminary is a fresh report. Final is revised. So this is the most important GDP data. The final is the least important, and then in the middle you have advanced. Now I do believe gold is doing a magnet right now. It's probably going to finish doing the magnet on after the ADP news comes out at 8:15. I think it's possible that there's a small move on gold this morning. Now, there is a PCE report. It is coming out. I checked. It's being released. PCE is coming out. According to the Commerce Department, it's being released. So we have to, and most of the calendars say yes. So I think you should expect it. You should expect it. I think that GDP is more important. So I think everyone, if I were you, certainly if I was in cash, I would probably only consider a trade after the news on cash or just wait for the opens. I just can't really give a perfect setup. I don't have anything extremely reliable that Chantal and I could come up with our testing. You've got trap
US natural
trades
gas
that have
futures
stopped
rise nearly
working,
5% to
breakouts that have only
$4.13
worked for a couple of months.
per
There's just no
MMBTU.
great trends on this report. So let's say you want to keep your risk low. So you could go to MGC 0226. I'm actually going to set up two things quickly on MGC. Actually, I'm going to set up three quick things. I'm going to set up a quick breakout on MGC 814.59 to see if there's any move on the ADP. I think now that the government shutdown is over, I mean, they seem to want to keep this report around. I'm not so, I wish they would get rid of this report. We don't need their data weekly. We really don't. That's the truth. So I'm going to do two positions, a 10 and a 30 target on gold, micro gold, and a stop of 30. All right, if it hits my first target, I'll move my stop to break even -4. So I'm going to trigger at 814.59, bracket of 15. We've seen some breakout type movement on this report, but I'm not willing to risk hundreds and hundreds of dollars on it, but I'm willing to risk 50 bucks, 80 bucks, okay? Trading micros just to see how gold reacts to it. 814.59 is my trigger, 15 on the bracket. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 10 ticks, target 2 is 30, the stop is 30. And if it doesn't move pretty quickly, I would cancel it, label it breakout GC, and I'll trade it just in a regular prop account that I'm using. Nothing special. Apply it and OK it. Make sure my charts are on number 29. So that's a breakout. I'm setting up a quick reverse continue for after the news. Change your breakout to reverse continue. Couple of contracts, one position, 40 tick target. This will be a reverse continue. I keep on the chart through the 8:30 news. A 50 tick stop. I think I'll do a 50 target, 50 stop. Couple of contracts. I'm staying with micros this morning. I'm not really in the mood to blow up accounts. There's just best to be safe because I'm telling you, this is holiday trading. You don't even know if the market's going to act normally. We don't know. We've been here before. This is not our first rodeo, if you know what I mean. We know what holiday trading can do. It can screw everything up. So reverse continue on the chart. And I like magnets for the major news. Why? Because I think gold's going to get pushed in certain directions, particularly after the news. You could get a fill. Not ADP will be not a huge move. My opinion, not a huge move. MNQ, we've tested RTY pretty well on GDP and CB consumer and PCE price, and it really didn't look impressive. We have seen RTY move better than any other instrument on some of the major news, like we missed it on CPI, so we wanted to make sure we checked it carefully. And on these reports today, 8:30, RTY hasn't been that good at all. The MNQ was decent on PCE price, not great on GDP. So I do think GDP, however, is what this market is waiting for. That's what is going to move the market. So I'm going to set up a reverse continuation on MNQ. Change the breakout to reverse continue. And I'll just set up one position, just scalp. 60 target, 75 on the stop. It's just a discretionary setup. Reverse continue. MNQ, I'll label it MNQ reverse continue, and I'll trade it in number 31, apply it, make sure it's labeled MNQ reverse continue. So just trading X number of contracts. You decide the number of contracts you want to trade in your account. I'm using a 60 target and a 75 stop. It's a discretionary setup. The other setup that I'm going to use, like I said, I'm not interested in breakouts this morning. They may work perfectly. I mean, we saw perfect breakouts with CPI. We expected the same kind of problems. But I love the idea of magnets on this news. So high of day, low of day, both gold and MNQ. Gold to get to the low is not going to happen. Gold may make a new high. Gold's up $52 today. That that used to be a lot. Over the last 6 months, that's the way gold moves. It goes $100. Wouldn't shock anyone. Years ago, if gold moved $100, there would be nothing else talked about all day long. It would be the only thing people would be talking about. Now, you just look at it, you go, oh, okay, gold moved $100. Ho hum. It's just not that abnormal. $52 on gold. It's a big move, but it's not that abnormal anymore. So, MNQ magnet. MNQ could easily test either the high or the low. Now remember, I'm testing the new magnet, so it's going to set up different than you. It's going to look different. High of day, low of day is what I'm choosing. All right. High of day, low of day. And I'm taking one position on each position. One contract each position. Target 1 is -3. Target 2 is 15 ticks above or below the area we're looking to hit. So high of day plus 15, low of day minus 15. Those are our targets. And my stop is going to be 100. And I'm saving that for the news later. All right, I'm saving it for the news later. And I'm going to trade that in the same account as the reverse continue. And we're going to label that MNQ magnet. Okay, MNQ magnet. Apply it, okay, and I'm not turning it on. I'm turning it on now, but the beauty of magnets, then I'm going to move my order entry. All right, those heavy lines are my orders, but I'm not making it automatic right now by turning it on. Now, I do want to have a gold magnet also, but I'm going to wait until the 8:15. Let's put it on. It's always nice to have it. So you can put 3 strategies on a chart. You got to keep your wits about you so you don't get confused. High of day, low of day, proximity is a 3. Similar concept, all right? We're just trading micros this morning. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. -3 on the default target. We'll do 10 on the second target, and I'll do a 40 tick stop. Stops can definitely be moved depending on support and resistance for magnets in particular. And then we're going to call this MGC magnet. And I'll trade that. What account are we trading gold in? Number 23. Now, all these setups aren't going to be traded at once. You can't trade them at once, okay? Don't forget, you can't trade them at once. You have to trade one setup at a time if you're trading the same instrument, right? If you're trading the same instrument, only one setup at a time can be used. I think gold is going to the high of day no matter what, regardless of what this news is. I'm tempted to forget the breakout and just put the magnet on. Let's just, right now my magnet's on automatic. Let gold trade the magnet. That's what I'm doing. All right. I'm letting gold trade my magnet. If it gets to this level, 45.28, it's way too far away from the low to trade, but there's a real strong possibility we get a test of the high here. 10, TJ. You only have to make it a 10. If you make it a negative 10, that means it's going to fill you 10 ticks before it gets to the magnet. If it's a 10, that's just like a regular target. That means it's going to go plus 10 above or below the magnet. Okay? The magnet is your exit normally. Remember, the magnet is the exit. So I'm just going to watch. Well, look, we have a minute to go before the breakout. So I turned off the magnet because you can't trade a magnet and a breakout at the same time. So we're going to let our breakout take place. It's micros. It's not going to destroy our life. Okay, let's see what happens. Now the MNQ, I'm not ready to let the MNQ. I'm just thinking out loud, folks. You know, if the MNQ wants to test the low, let it. I'll trade it. All right. So I put the magnet on the MNQ. Gold.
Order submitted.
Okay, there's our bracket for this trade. Now the news is out. Why did I move my order? There's no move. The news is not out. There's no move. I don't want to get filled randomly. All right. I'm not hearing anything on this release.
ADP say US private payrolls rose average 11,500 a week in the
Okay,
4
now it's
weeks to
out.
December 6th.
Payrolls rolls 11,000. They were expecting 16,000. Was that a move from the news? It's possible. It's possible that the market knew it before we heard it. It's possible. I said before, I'm not dying to trade this report. So let's just,
Order
that
canceled.
report, its day is over. All right. Now, couple of things. I'm going to turn off my gold breakout. All right. My gold breakout is turned off. My gold magnet is going to fill if price gets above 28. All right. If price gets above 28, I will take, here it goes. Looks like it's going to burst up and test the high.
Order submitted.
Okay, there's our fill. Where should that's where the stop should be, in my opinion. That's where I would put it, below. It really should be below all of this upward activity. That's where I would put the stop. It's a big stop, but that's where I would put it. I might change my mind and move it up if the trade
China
totally
Commerce Ministry
fails.
says we will take necessary measures to protect Chinese companies if
Now,
the US
on
persists.
GDP, I'm just not interested in taking
Order filled.
breakouts. Okay, so there is a mistake in the strategy that I forgot about. The programmer was doing some testing, and I got to turn off these magnets and turn off my trailing stops. He's killing me. He left the trailing stop on as a default. I forgot this morning. And maybe not. Maybe something. Oh, no. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Trailing stop. Got to be off. That's why my trade got taken out. It trailed. It's all right. We're going to turn it right back on and wait for another fill. Not worried about it. I'm still expecting the high of the day to get tested on gold. On our MNQ magnet, turning it off for a minute and just turning off my trailing stops. Don't let me forget to turn off my trailing stops this morning. I don't want them on. And he goofed. I think he misunderstood me, actually. I asked him to change something, and I think he thought that I meant to leave it on. So gold's going to fill again because it's going to test the high. It's going to. It's going to test the high. Okay, now my MNQ. I think MNQ is going to test the low. All right, I do believe that. I don't need my breakout for gold. So we should get another fill on gold. I'll let it fill. Now we have the gold open taking place at
Order submitted.
820. I think we will get a test of the high. If it doesn't shoot through the high, then it'll only hit target 1. All right. And I'll tell you where you could also put your stop. There's a bunch of consolidation in this area here. So if you want to take less of a risk, you could put your stop roughly 2380. Now we do have strong upward movement in the squeeze. Volume is good, but not extra high. So let's see if the gold open pushes price down or it pushes price up or does nothing. So it's pushing price
Order
down.
filled.
Okay, so it got me. I'm not done with gold yet. It's going to test the high. We'll give it a minute and I'll trade it on the news. I'll trade it on the news. And this is why I'm using micros in a prop account. And I know it's holiday, that we may not be able to expect normal market movement. So the gold open very commonly sometimes will change direction. I don't think this direction will hold though. Why don't I think it'll hold? Because gold's up over $50. It's going to come back and it's going to trade. It's going to break the high of the day. I really believe it. Now, it may cost me a couple of $100 to be wrong, but it's not going to blow up any accounts or ruin my life if I'm wrong. So right now, I'm wrong. It didn't do it as quickly as I thought it would. But I still think, here's what I think makes sense. If it breaks the VWAP, then I'm probably wrong. If we stay above the VWAP, then I believe we're going to test that area. I want to see something. I want to check something. Remember, if you don't put the magnet on auto, it won't take a trade. So you can just watch it if it's not on auto. Don't forget, has to be on auto, right? It has to be on auto to actually take a trade. So I could just watch at the moment. It's not going to get to the low, even on the news. It's just way too far away. It's way too far away. 85, 44.85, 15.40. It's almost $50 away from the low. Now, you did have a great short signal. It wasn't a high of day, low of day short signal. It missed a perfect signal because it didn't get to the high of day. But you still got an ARS signal. Not a great, I shouldn't say, it is a good signal. It's not a perfect signal. I'll take back the word perfect because it didn't hit the high of day. But you got a change in direction on a burst of volume. Change in direction on a burst of volume. So, like I said, if it tests the VWAP, then I'm going to wait for it to get back above. We'll see what it does. NQ. So my setup for the NQ, the only thing I have set up on the NQ is a magnet. I'm not taking breakouts this morning because we don't have a good breakout that's reliable. You want to set up a breakout, you
China
probably need a
urges the
40
US
bracket on
to
gold.
withdraw its ban
You want to
on
set
new
a
foreign
breakout
drones
on the
as China vows to
MNQ,
act to protect Chinese
50
drone companies'
bracket at least.
interests.
50 bracket at least. RTY, 20 bracket if you're going to trade the RTY. And it's random. If it works, it's just a random trade because there's no testing that supports PCE price, GDP, and core durable goods all being released at the same time. The MNQ magnet. Now, I don't want now to let it fill before the news. I don't want to be in the trade before the news. So if it should fill and then not test the low, I don't really want to do that, to be honest. Okay? My MNQ magnet setup that I'm using. Proximity 3, you're going to move your order anyway. So proximity 3 just puts your order line close to the high of day or low of day and you move it. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is -3, target 2 is 15, and my stop is 100. I don't think we're going to get a test of the high. We're pretty far away. 668. I mean, it's extreme how far away we are. It's extreme.
In 5 minutes' time now, at the bottom of the hour, we get the US GDP data. This is the third quarter second estimate. Quarter-over-quarter
Current
advance forecast
price
3.3% from the prior 3.8%. The price index forecast
274
2.7% from the prior
ticks.
2.1%.
274
Core PCE
ticks.
prices advanced, forecast 2.9% from the prior 2.6%. PCE prices
80,
advanced, prior of
60,
2.1%, and the deflator a prior
65
of
points, right?
2.1%.
60
We also
points
get
would
the
be
US durable
240
goods numbers,
ticks.
forecast
It's
minus
a lot.
1.5% from the prior
It's a
0.5%.
lot.
Core
So
durable goods,
gold
forecast
faked
0.3%
us
from the
out
prior
so far. It's
0.6%,
still
as
above
well
the
as Canadian
VWAP,
GDP month over
but
month,
now it's got to
forecast
do
minus
some moving
0.3%
before
from the
it's going to
prior
get to the high
0.0%.
or low. So we'll wait for the news. Maybe there will be a reverse continue that you could take. Same thing is true on the MNQ. So now I'm going to put the MNQ magnet on, and a second or two before the news, I'll adjust my orders. A second or two before the news, I'll put the button on auto so the news can try and fill my magnet. Now, if it moves, you could still get the same kind of breakout data fill problem. This is not normally the way I trade a magnet at the exact moment of the news, except for the YM in the morning because it's not uh, as insane as this could be. Not saying this will be, but it could be a bad fill. Calvin, did you reboot your whole computer and your cable modem? Oh, it's on a VPS. Something, they're having a problem. What company? What company do you use? So magnet gold. I'll put the magnet gold on for a burst through the high, all right, from the news. It's possible. The NQ, I'll put the magnet on before the news, almost out of curiosity. But this morning I'm more interested in our normal trades, our normal opens. So gold is now hovering, right? It's hovering above the VWAP. I still think it could test the high. NQ, unknown what's going to happen on this news. I think there's a real possibility it makes a new low. And then maybe it'll go back up on the news. Because the markets, they're going to probably rally for Christmas. They usually do. It's like the NFL. It's rigged. The markets are rigged. We don't care. We don't care if it's rigged. Rigged, schmigged. It still moves. What difference does it make to us?
1 minute remaining. I'll lead
If
with
the
US
news is
GDP
real or
quarter over
fake,
quarter
we don't even
advance.
care if the numbers are real. The numbers are going to move the market whether they're fake or real. So it doesn't matter if they're fake or real. You know, it's interesting conversation if they're fake or real, but it doesn't really change market moves from news. Data is data, whether it's fake or real. It has the same effect. But the NFL is 100% rigged, 100 billion% fraudulent, ruined from gambling. Probably always was rigged. It's no different than professional wrestling now. And they should make all the
10
refs
seconds.
employees of the NFL. It's ridiculous. They're independent contractors, most of them. It's absurd. Most important job. Okay, the news is out or coming out. Durable goods is out.
4.3%,
GDP,
4.3% higher than forecast,
so fake.
3.3%.
So
Durable goods
fake,
minus
people.
2.2%, minus
4.3.
2.2%, lower than forecast, minus
GDP
1.5%. Core
4.3.
durable
Yeah,
goods
right.
0.2%,
Right.
0.2%, lower than forecast,
And I got
0.3%. Core
an
PCE
oil well
prices
I want to
advanced
sell you. You
2.9%
want to buy
as
an oil
expected.
well?
PCE
It'll
prices
work in your backyard.
2.8%, 2.8%. GDP deflator 3.7%, 3.7%, and Canadian GDP month over month at minus 0.3%
Not much of a
as
response from
expected.
the news at all, folks. Not much of a response. Is the MNQ still going to test the low?
We have
Order
posted the US
submitted.
Is the
GDP Q3
MNQ
prelim report
thinking
on the
that it's
feed
fake
for those
news? I don't
interested,
know.
and durable
Why is
goods
the MNQ
report
not
for
going
October
up
as
on
well.
what I would have thought would have been good GDP news? Now, are we going to get our test? It gave us our fill. Are we going to get our test? Is today just a day where we're not going to get any trades to follow through? It's possible. There's no guarantee. Remember, we said this is holiday trading. No DMMs. You're trading at your own risk. Now, if I
Did note some
want
strength
to
in the US
exit
dollar
this
off the back
trade,
of the release here, as we saw GDP come in stronger than
I can
expected,
exit this trade.
4.3% on estimates of 3.3.
We're not getting any follow through. No follow through. Gold, no magnet is taking place. Gold is selling off to the downside, right? So you've got some downward movement on gold, medium volume compared to the way it's been. Not bad volume, all right? I'm just not that interested in the moment in a gold trade, and our MNQ is really not working. So what if you want to exit a trade that you think is not working? What should you do? In worst case, you could hit the close button. Second case, smarter way to do it, shrink your stop big time. So if it continues to go against you, you get out for a small loss. And that's what I'm doing. This trade just not really following through. I think the market is going to respond to positive GDP news, whether it's fake or real, doesn't matter. It's pretty darn positive. So I don't really want to be short. Okay. So as it goes down, I'll shrink my stop to reduce my loss because this to me is a lost trade. I'll also put my orders together. And I don't see my, hang on. Let's just watch the MNQ. I don't
According to
have
a
to move my
Stat
stop
Canada
right on
flash
top of the
estimate,
price
Canada November
because
GDP likely
maybe
rose 0.1%
the
month on
market
month.
will cooperate and it'll start going down. I don't think so. All right. I don't think so. So I'm going to keep my stop safe. Safer. I don't want to lose $100. 60, no problem. We're going to get ready for the oil open in a minute. So you could see how we got pretty weird behavior. PCE price did come out. Consumer spending. I believe consumer spending is up. That I do believe. Um, Durable goods was negative news. And then PCE prices was pretty much as expected. That's a complete lie. Everybody knows prices are way up. There's monstrous inflation in the world today. In the US today, inflation is through the roof. Through the roof. Through the roof. I don't have to say it over and over again. Nothing is cheaper except the price of gasoline. That's it. That's it. Nothing that you buy is cheaper. Food is more money. Do we have to go through this every day with these news results? They're not based in any kind of reality that anyone could see. Now, GDP, I don't know enough to say whether the
Canadian
GDP
dollar holds on to most of its
news has
gains
been
following the
tampered
GDP
with,
data.
but
Last up, spot 4%
4.3,
on the
a little
day
bit hard to
against the US
believe.
dollar.
A little bit hard to believe. 1 full point above. It's fake news, in my opinion. Fake news. Now, gold, I'm ready to take that test of the high again. If gold goes back up, it's going to test that high, folks. I'm telling you, it's going to do it. We could have just traded one gold trade and had our stop above the VWAP. It's a big stop, but that's where the stop should be, above the VWAP. Okay? Very, very important if you're going to trade magnets, put your stop in the right place. You need large stops to trade magnets in the best possible way. That's just the way it is. Hey, look, our
Order
MNQ, we
filled.
got a break. By not moving our stop right on top of the price, it allowed the market to change direction and give us a winning trade. I'll take it. I'll take it. So the MNQ magnet was a winner. So we can get rid of our MNQ at the moment, okay? So I'm going to close out my MNQ magnet. I'm going to close out my MNQ reversal, all right? Because now we have to get ready for another event. I'm still interested in gold, but we have something else to do. So we'll get back to gold at 10 o'clock, all right? Because at 10 o'clock, we've got consumer confidence. Now, just so everybody understands, capacity utilization and industrial production does not move the markets, okay? And that's why I don't even put it on the schedule anymore. We used to trade those years ago. They used to never really do anything. Now they do even less. I don't know why. The market has no interest in those reports, but it has no interest in those reports, and they don't move the market. Now, of course, today it's going to move the market unbelievably because I said that it won't move the market. Hey, congratulations, Calvin, on passing 50K Apex. Nice job. All right, so we've had one winner this morning. We've had two gold losers trying to get a couple of gold magnets. We're going to revisit our magnets for gold after the market open. All right. Now we have another job to do. We have the oil open. So when we do the oil open, we're going to put CL 0226 on the chart. All right. And we're going to take a look at oil and see what's going on. And then we're going to get ready for our YM open. Okay. And we also, when oil is done, we have an MNQ open as well. So I'll be shrinking my oil open chart in a few minutes as we get closer to the open. But for now, I'm looking at early YM ahead of the market open, 0326. YM looks like the MNQ made a new low, but we're going to concentrate on oil right now. So first things first on oil. And I'll keep working on this particular account. No, I won't. We're going to trade oil in our funded oil open account. All right. Oil goes in our funded oil open account. And we'll keep our YouTube stream alive. All right. I want to welcome everyone on YouTube. Let me just put my laptop on YouTube so I can see if the stream is actually working. I forgot to even do it. See if anyone's out there streaming before the holiday. It's our last trade room before the holiday. So let me see. I mean, I know I'm streaming. I'm just looking at it on a different computer. Okay, there's a few folks watching us this morning on the tube. All right. So our CL space 0226 is the chart we're trading on oil. If we look at oil on a 15-minute chart, just let's see what it's been doing over the past day. All right. Oil yesterday was very bullish, right? Wasn't it super bullish when we got to the trade room? It was up over $1.25. And oil right now is bullish from overnight. So I would say right now oil is bullish again. All right. It's looking nicely bullish. A little bit of chop there, but not that much. It made a new low at about 1 in the morning. And if you look at the previous evening, you could see the market opened. Oil made a high and a low the first 15 minutes. Then it pushed up to a new high at 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
Canada
Made a
wholesale
new
sales
low
rose
at 1 in the morning,
0.1%
and it's
month over
been
month in
bullish ever
November,
since.
according to a StatScan estimate.
So I would say right at the moment, oil is in a bullish trend. All right. Does that change the way I'm going to trade this oil open? Not in the least. We're going to take our normal trade on the oil open on our normal account. Right now, I'm going to put it on our normal funded open account for oil. Okay. This is a pretty newly funded account trading mostly oil opens using Bullinox. All right. So our first thing we're going to do, go back to a shorter time frame. I like 30-second time frames in most cases, 30 and 1 minute. Those are my favorite time frames for squeeze signals. All right. And first thing I'm going to do is put a reverse continue on the chart. Right click strategy, click news trader, change the breakout to a reverse continue. And I'll put position 1 as a 1, and we do a 20 tick target and a 20 tick stop. All right. That's our oil reverse continuation. Label it CL
US stock index
reverse
features adds to
continue,
losses with the S&P E-minis,
and I'll
Nasdaq
trade that
100
in,
and Dow
like I
futures
said,
down
in
spot
my
2%
funded
each.
oil open account. All right. Apply it, okay it, and we have a reverse continue. If I press the long button, puts me in the market long. If I press the short button, puts me in the market short. Okay. Number 2, we're going to set up our oil range trade. We have a range trade for oil. This has been one of the best profitable trades I think that maybe we've ever seen at 10-minute trades. We did have one stop last week. We had a stop on it. But almost every day has been profitable since for 5. We're now on our 6th week of trading it, I believe. Oil is going to test the high here, folks. I believe with all my heart we're going to get an oil test of the high. I'm tempted just to go long on oil and let it sit and close it before the open, but let's put our range on. Strategy, news trader, range trade. If we enter the trade manually instead of doing a template, our range end is going to be 90040. 90040 is the range end. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. One contract each position. Target 1 is an 8, target 2 is a 20. Okay? The stop is 15 ticks, and if the market hits my first target, I'm going to move my stop using the target 1 stop move feature, target 1 stop move, to BE, break even, -4. Then I'm going to start the range start time. It's a 9 o'clock open. We're starting our range at 8:59. When the range is done calculating, it puts its order one tick above the range for the longs, one tick below the range for the shorts. Show the range graphics on chart, so it draws the range that we're calculating. Trade it in our oil open account, funded, label it oil open. Not very complicated. Call it a range. All right. Apply it. Okay it. That's our setup. So we now have a reverse continuation setup if we want to get in the market whenever, discretionally, or we're going to wait until our range is done calculating, and then we are going to get into the market. Right now, I have a YM reverse signal to go long. Make believe you just went long on the YM at 12. At 12. Just remember 612. Setting up a reverse continuation on the YM. News trader. Change breakout to reverse continue. Couple of contracts. All right. Position 1. Target 35. Stop 35. This is a discretionary trade. We're going to label it, right? All you need is a target, a position, and a stop for a discretionary reverse continuation. Label it YM reverse continue. And we're going to go back to our 31 account, the one we lost a little bit of money, and we're going to work on that account to try and get it back to make some money. Was it 31 or 23? 23. All right, so let's go back, put the software on 23. We want to build this account back up for today. 23 is our reverse continue. Apply it, okay it, and we can turn it on whenever we want. In terms of magnets on the YM, it's a very valid reverse signal on the YM, but look how low the volume is. The volume is pretty low, but this is a low volume day also. People are getting close to Christmas. After consumer confidence, I think a lot of people are just going to leave. It's struggling to move up on that reversal signal. The reversal signal came at 8:45. Now it's starting to move up. If you're going to take this trade, I would
Order
take the
submitted.
long, right? And my stop is going to be about 7 or 8 ticks below the low of day. If this decides to make a new low, then it's going to stop me out. If the signal's going to work, it'll continue with upward momentum, and I'm just looking for a little scalp here. So let's see what happens. And trust me, I'm not saying this is the best day to scalp. Now, our oil idea of just taking a long, it would have worked. But think about it. It only would have worked for about 4 or 5 ticks. We're not seeing a lot of movement in oil, right? It's only about 4 or 5 ticks. I said I thought that oil was going to test the high, and we were about 15-ish in price, and now it's 22. That's only 7 ticks. Okay, see, it's not a get rich trade. And now, so you've made that high, you have a real possibility oil's going to change direction at the high, especially when it's not exactly what I would call bursting high volume movement, if you get my drift. Let's say, just to give everyone a good idea of what's going on here, let's say every single scalp I take in this prop account that I'm trading the YM on, every scalp doesn't work. And I do an unbelievable damage to this particular prop account. For $39, I can reset the account as if it's from scratch. It starts all over again. So all this testing of analysis, etc., my risk on this account is $39 if I have to reset it, if I want to reset it, or I could just wait till its monthly billing takes place again, and it's $15.75, because that's what I paid for this particular account. It's nowhere near being reset, but not a single trade so far that I took this morning is looking great. Also, we're not seeing very much interest in movement right now. It'll get better as we get closer to the open. The YM is bearish, taking a long is going against the grain, but it was a good signal. It just didn't have accompanying volume with it. All right. And it's just not giving any follow through at all. There's no follow through at all. So you could do a similar thing. You could move your stop up if you wanted to and say, okay, if it hits this area, I'll get out. Maybe the trade's not ready for me yet. Or you could just sit tight, realizing $39 if I damage the account where I can't use it anymore. Or you just keep working on it. You're going to make some bad decisions. It's holiday trading. I would not be trading that in my cash money account. I just wouldn't. Now on oil, it's an oil open. The oil open tends to have a move, and I am trading that in my funded account. It worked pretty normally yesterday. Today's our last trade room, and I think it will probably move reasonably normally. All right, on the open. Interestingly, that reversal trade on on oil gave a signal at 849. You got a short signal, but you're getting very small moves in oil. We're not exactly getting big moves. It's a grand total of 5 ticks of reversal. So, it's almost not worth even looking at, right? 5 ticks. No volume. We're going to wait on oil till the open. We'll take our normal trade, but we'll wait to the open. The YM, even though our momentum says it's moving up, price is not. And that's a little bit non-standard on the squeeze. More often than not, it follows price action and momentum go together, but it's not totally unheard of for the squeeze to be showing long and price showing short. It happens. All right, so right now we're just waiting for our oil open setup. That's the first thing we're waiting on. So let me go over that setup for everyone one more time. Our oil open is a range trade, all right? And you put the strategy on range trade by changing the breakout to range trade. Then normally I go down to the range trade area and the range start time is 8:59. Ticks above the range or 1, ticks below the range or 1. When the range is done calculating, it's going to put an order 1 tick above the range and 1 tick below the range for the short order. Make sure show range graphics is checked. That's so the range gets drawn on the screen and you see it. Then you go up to the top. The range end is 90040. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. That means one contract for each position. Target 1 is an 8. Target 2 is a 20. Our stop is 15. And if the target 1 is hit, we're going to move our stop to break even BE minus 4. Yesterday, we made money on the oil open. We made money on the MNQ open. We made money on the YM open. And we streamed it live on
US Red
YouTube.
Book year
So
over
if you
year
don't believe me, you can go look
7.2%,
at the video.
7.2%.
I'm scrolling down. I'm going to call this label. We label every single trade because we have multiple setups in the control panel of Ninja Trader. This is the oil open range, and I'm trading it in my funded account. All right, like I do every morning. Make sure your chart trader is on that account, and then turn it on, checking it in the control panel, right? Control center. Make sure your strategy tab, your tab at the bottom is on strategies, or you won't see your strategies. If you're not on the right tab, you will not see your strategies, okay? So make sure you're on the right tab. Our YM trade is very sleepy, very sleepy. Now, the squeeze momentum, just for a moment there, it went against us. I just noticed for a moment it went against us. Now, it is on a 1 minute. We probably are better off on a 30-second squeeze. The 1 minute is slower signals, especially in a market this slow. When will the new magnet software be available? So, James, right now I'm testing it. I'm using it right now. You noticed what happened already this morning. There's a setting that's incorrect. It depends on how many problems I find with it over the next couple of days. It was just a few minor things. Unfortunately, the programmer takes a vacation for 5 days starting today for the holidays. So I'm hoping New Year's. I'm hoping New Year's. I'd like to make it the first week of New Year's. I was hoping to beat to get it done before New Year's, but it's not going to happen. Being honest, it's it's such a big upgrade. It's not a small upgrade. We've literally created a whole new strategy inside the magnet strategy. The squeeze signal system, ARS, the aftershock reversal system, is a whole separate strategy. So I will say this, it's going to be worth the wait, but it's a lot to test. If he didn't go away, um, it would only be probably, it would definitely make it before the end of the year, but he's gone. He's not going to look at any of my issues until he gets back. And then it's not like we're his only customer, you know. But I will say this, the regular magnet is awesome. So everybody should absolutely start using the regular magnet. We are only going to increase our usage of magnets
The
as
US
time
posts
goes
a
on.
Federal Register note on semiconductors from China.
I mean, we're not stopping any kinds of trades. We're just going to do more of these. And breakouts, you got to be really picky about your breakouts. So, anybody in the mood for a rant this morning?
The
Anybody in
USTR
the
says
mood
the
for
US
a
are to
rant?
take tariff action on
I'm in the
semiconductors
mood
from
for a
China.
rant. Google not being able to now YM is going down.
Bit of
It's
weakness
going
coming
to
through in the
stop us
S&P
out.
500 as again the USTR say that the US is to take tariff
It
action
made a
on
new low.
semiconductors from China.
I had my stop below the low, and I'm not feeling very
The effective Fed
optimistic
fund
that the
rate is
YM
unchanged
is
at
going to survive this.
3.64% on the 22nd of December.
I mean, I do think we're on the wrong side of this trade. Our YM, our oil range is drawing. Does everybody notice? We're just going to
The
wait
US does not specify the
for
tariff
the
rates on
oil open,
semiconductors
which is at
from
9
China.
o'clock. And then 40 seconds after that, we're going to get a test. We're going to get our orders on the chart 40 seconds after the market opened. So the oil market opened and it didn't even move a tick.
Seeing ECB bond holdings under
One tick.
PEDP at 1.43
This
trillion
might be
euros
a
as of
morning
last
not to
week.
trade,
They settled
in all
1.862
seriousness.
trillion
It
euros in
might be a
public
morning
sector
not to
bond
trade.
purchases and 248.8 billion euros in corporate bond purchases.
Yeah, folks, that's like reason to cancel this trade. It's not normal behavior, and there's no point in losing money. I'm canceling also. I'm canceling. It's just not a good. The market usually moves 4, 5, 8 ticks. I don't like that. I don't like it. Ha! Look, I give up. I give up. It just moved how many ticks? How many ticks? How many ticks? Eight ticks. It just moved down 8 ticks. All right? It moved down 8 ticks. Let's see what it does. I hate to try and outthink the market. Chantal, have a nice holiday. You too. I hate to try and outthink the market.
The ECB says forex reserves
So we got
rose
a
700
delayed
million euros to a
move,
total
a
of around
delayed move on the
330
open.
billion euros.
Okay? Delayed move.
The US says tariffs on China semiconductors are zero until June 2027. Again, US says a tariff on China semiconductors zero until June 2027.
Now, so oil, it might have filled us short there. It looks like it would have filled us short. I think that the price action is just very small moving. I don't think the risk is worth it in a funded account, right? Not that interested in hurting a funded account on a bad trading day. Okay. So these are personal decisions you have to make. Personal decisions you have to make. If it were just trading in my regular old nothingness prop account, I probably would have left it alone. But to me, like I said before, oil looks bullish today on the day. If anything, we should have taken a long after it dropped those 8 ticks. Now it's back up 7 ticks in a really slow moving market. So I'm not dying to jump back in on the long side, to be honest. I'm just not. The YM is our problem. The YM's my problem now. The YM is my problem. Is it going to change direction? We're kind of stuck in this trade. So here's the deal, folks. I'm not really trading oil now. I'm done. Frank, you two, are you leaving? Or are you just saying Merry Christmas? So I decided not to take the oil trade this morning. The oil open was at 9 o'clock. And I guess in theory, it moved 8 ticks, but it was delayed. It was a very delayed, slow move. Frank, have the nicest holidays. And thanks for being such a fantastic member of the trade room for so long. It's been a pleasure having you here. So have an awesome holiday. Thanks, Frank. I love it here too. All right, let's have a Woodstock today. We're going to do a Woodstock. We're going to have a lovin'. We're going to have a lovin'. We're going to do Woodstock, not Altamont. No Altamonts today. All Woodstocks. Frank, thanks so much. A lot of nice people here. Your wife was there, Doc. Doc, I was in the Catskills the year of Woodstock. I was 16 years old, and I was at camp. I was at camp. I remember Camp Indian Head. They don't call it Indian Head anymore. And I remember the rains when it got muddy at Woodstock. But I was only about, I don't know, 10 miles away from Woodstock in the Catskills. I remember reading the newspaper, seeing all the pictures. Probably if I was older, I would have gone, but I'm glad. That's not like, I would not enjoy being in a crowd like that personally. Not really for me. But it was historic, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in that philosophy or not. You can't deny the historical importance of it. Certainly, from a musical perspective, tremendous amount of bands that were made famous from Woodstock, and a tremendous amount of people that didn't play, made the decision not to play and regretted it their whole lives. You tried to get there and couldn't get close. I remember the highways were closed. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. Compare that world to this world. Oh my God. Unbelievable. I mean, there was a lot of unrest in those days. You had the Weather Underground, Black Panthers. There was a lot going on. A lot going on. A lot of assassinations in those days. Calvin, you were not at Woodstock. No way. No. Frank, no chance. No chance was Calvin at Woodstock. No. Right. It's the Woodstock song, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Crosby, Joni Mitchell song. She didn't even go. Oil's just chopping around, folks. Oil's just chopping around. We're going to get hit on our YM, and then we'll take our YM open trade. We'll let the YM trade a little bit. Let's get our MNQ. We're getting rid of oil. Oil's just not moving much on the open. We didn't miss anything. All right. And we're going to put MNQ 0326. All right. MNQ 0326. I love Boston. I absolutely cannot tolerate Ted Nugent. He had one good song, Journey to the Center of Your Mind. It's the only thing he ever did that was any good. The man's an idiot. He's a
Order
complete
filled.
idiot and a fool. In my opinion. In my opinion. I can't stand him. Can't stand his music. Can't stand anything about him. All right. YM didn't work on a reverse continue. We had a good signal, just zero follow through. Zero follow through. Maybe not so smart to take a long when the YM is pushing short. We still have our reverse continue enabled on the YM. We're going to try and get this back on the open. And we're going to set up a new magnet for the YM open. All right. We don't have a low of day open, so it's tricky this morning on the YM. It is tricky. It is tricky. RD, nice to see you here. Good morning. Nice to see you here. So I'm not really seeing a valid magnet on the YM unless you believe that the YM is going to test the VWAP, which is a fair play. We're at the low. So let's set up our MNQ first, all right? And then we'll come back and think about the YM. YM, we have a reverse continuation set up, all right? We have our original reverse continuation. I've got a couple of contracts on one position, 35 target, 35 stop. That's my YM, reverse continuation. Strictly a discretionary trade, all right? Using prop account number 23. MNQ, I'm going to do my normal open on the MNQ. So we have a reverse continue we set up on every chart. Strategy, news trader, change the breakout to a reverse continue. And I'm just trading a couple of contracts on an MNQ reverse continue. We'll go for a 50 tick target. We use a 75 tick stop on our scalp, morning open scalp. If we take it, we don't take it that often. Usually we just trade the open. We're going to label it MNQ reverse continue. And we're going to trade it in our market open account. This also is a funded account like our oil account, but it's a different one. Apply it. Okay it. I'm going to put this chart trader though on sim because we have a breakout for the MNQ and we're going to test the bracket. So we're going to load our breakout, right click the chart, click strategy, click news trader, go down to template. I'm going to load my breakout. I'm going to load the breakout. So I'm looking for MNQ new open. That's the template I'm looking for. MNQ new open. MNQ new open. There it is. Right click it. Put today's date on it. 12/23. 12/23. And load it. That saves it and loads it. Our activation time, it's a breakout, 9:29:59. A bracket is 40 ticks. 40 ticks on the bracket. I might shrink it. Might shrink it to 35. All right. My targets are 30 and 70. My stop is 125 ticks. It's 50 cents a tick. It's not a very big stop in terms of dollars. And Target one stop move. Should it hit my first target, I'm going to
So
move
to
my stop to
summarize
break
the
even.
Federal Register note on semiconductors from China, Office of the
And I'm going to
USTR
set the
says
time
that the
to
initial
0
tariff
for a
level of
moment.
0% will be
Time
increasing
at
in
0
18
because
months
I'm going
on
to
June
look
23rd,
at
2027 to a rate to be
the
announced
bracket. The
later. So
bracket's
again,
going to
just a
show up
summary
on
of
the
the
chart right away
previous
because I'm
register that we
setting
saw
the
the
time
headlines
to
from.
0 so I could make sure our bracket is wide enough so that we can take a trade, all right, and
Order
manage it
submitted.
properly. If it's all scrunched down, we can't manage the trade.
Just keep in mind at
So I
9:15
want it
a.m.
spread
Eastern Time,
apart
get the
just like
industrial
this.
production month over
I
month
want to get rid
forecast
of the
spot
Order
1%,
horizontal
canceled.
unchanged
line,
from the prior.
break
Capacity
out M and
utilization
Q, turning
forecast
it off for a
75
minute,
spot 9%, unchanged from the prior.
strategy
Manufacturing output
down
month
to
over month
optional
forecast
on the
0 spot
breakout,
1% from the
highlight the
prior 0%,
breakout,
and industrial
optional,
production year over year, so a prior of 1 spot
show vertical
62%.
line on entry. I'm turning it off by unchecking it. Apply it and OK it because I made a change, re-enable,
Order submitted.
and now we don't have the line getting in the way. All right, that's where the current price is. That line was the current price when the brackets went on the chart.
Order
You
canceled.
still get a mark. You still get a way of seeing it. There's a little triangle. Then I'm going to go back to the strategy now, highlight the breakout, put the time back to the
1 minute
correct
remaining. I'll lead with US
activation
industrial
time.
production month over month.
Industrial production is coming out now, by the way. 929.59, 35 bracket, targets of 30 and 70 with a stop of 125. Trading it in our MNQ funded open account, number 54. Let's see if the market moves at all on this industrial production. I usually like to look at gold on this. This is a 9 o'clock
10
event.
seconds.
Now the news is out, I'm sure.
0 spot 2%, 0 spot 2%, higher than forecast 0 spot 1%. Capacity utilization 76%,
And you could see
76%,
the
higher than forecast
MNQ
75 spot 9%.
didn't really do very much. The news is out. I
Manufacturing
hear it in my
output
headset.
0%, 0%, lower
Industrial
than forecast 0
production
spot
didn't move
1%.
the YM, didn't really move the NQ. You could see why we don't trade that report anymore. It just doesn't really move the market. Now, the YM is finally giving us reversal off the low. It is doing a reversal off the low. That is the proper signal. All right. It would have been a second trade to try. It's not a big reversal. I said I did want to put the YM on a 30-second chart. All right. Signals are better. They are stronger on the 30-second chart and might have gotten in a little bit earlier. So we have our reverse continue on the YM. I'm going to set up a YM magnet and I'm going to try and get some of the money back on this number 31 account that we've been, nope, not 30, it was 23. Yeah, 23. So right now, I don't think we're going to get to the high of day for the YM. 728. It's almost 673. It's like 140 points away. 48. Right now we're at 48,573, right? So I'm using the ruler to put my pencil up to the high. 154 ticks we would have to move on the open for a test of the high. We see this happen all the time. We could do a high of day, low of day test. Tell you what I'm going to do. Or we could do a VWAP test. We could target the VWAP. we could target the VWAP. Targeting the VWAP is probably a higher probability trade. It's more of a probability that price action goes to the VWAP than it's going to make it to the high on the open, especially the way these markets are moving. They're very lethargic. These markets are lethargic. Don't you agree that they're lethargic? Don't you agree this is not a great trading day? If you don't get a move on a GDP where the make-believe number was 4.3%, maybe the market is saying that's a fake number. I'm not moving on that. I'm not moving on that. All right, what are we going to do on the YM? What are we going to do? I'm going to set up a magnet. I'm tempted. Right-click strategies, double-click magnet. In the new version, I have to make a decision. What do I want to trade? Do I want to trade the high of day, low of day? Do I want to do a custom level, which would be the VWAP? So if I turn on the VWAP, a custom level, and I just trade one position, all right? And my target's going to be 3 ticks before I get there, and I'm targeting the VWAP, all right? I'm targeting the VWAP. My stop is going to be 35 to 40 ticks, all right? 35. Target 1 ticks is ignored because we're trading a specific level. When you're just trading a random number, then you use target 1 ticks, okay, and target 2 ticks. When you're trading a specific level, you use the position 1 and 2, okay? So new VWAP setup, new magnet setup, I'm targeting the VWAP 3 ticks before it gets there, all right? Currently we're below the VWAP, so we need a move up. I have a 35 tick stop and turn off trailing. Remember, we accidentally left trailing on, so that has to be put back to default off because that screwed up my first trade. Which VWAP do you want to use? Some of you are using the Ninja Trader lifetime VWAP. Some of you are using a different VWAP. I have both. All right, but I'm going to use the Ninja Trader VWAP, order flow VWAP. My squeeze momentum length is 17 and 20. That should be set correctly automatically, but you always check that. And I'm going to leave on VWAP signals and high of day, low of day signals. That's part of the ARS system. The account, I'm working on that account that I'm messing up today. Number 23, we're going to label this YM magnet, okay? The regular version of the magnet doesn't work this way, all right? It's very different. For all you regular users of the magnet, do you have the Magnet Master class that shows you how to use the magnet? Do you have the Magnet Master class? Members in the room, do you have the Magnet Master class video? Okay, RD, I sent it to you. You definitely have it. Francis, you probably have it, don't you? Why don't I give it to you? Well, I'm going to give it to everybody right now. Everybody, it's just a really good video on how to use it. and it's very short. It's not that long. There you go. All right. So let's see what the price action looks like right now on the YM. I think we're going down on the YM. That's our problem. Maybe we should be testing the S1, right? Maybe we should be testing the S1. So if I turn my VWAP magnet on, my order has to be below the VWAP because we are below the VWAP. Turn off short because we want a long, right? If price goes up and goes through this line, it's going to fill me long and probably go test the VWAP. Notice the YM gave an aftershock reversal long signal. It gave a long signal. That second long signal also failed this morning. I don't really want to take longs right now in the YM. Everything's failing to the upside. There's not enough momentum. It seems like the YM's just going to fall down. So I don't want to trade the VWAP, all right? I don't want to trade the VWAP. I don't think it's a great opportunity. Although, in all honesty, at the open, the momentum is going to change completely, and there probably will be decent momentum. All right? I think there will be decent momentum on the YM at the open. We only have 6 minutes to make a decision here. We have a reverse continue. We can always scalp the market after the open. We have our MNQ breakout. That's going to take place. That's going to trade. All right? The YM, I wish it was above the low of day by much more than it is. I'm much more interested in taking a high of day, low of day. All right, I'll show you a trick you can do. A crazy trick that it may not work in the new version, but it does work in the old version. I'm just not feeling like maybe the magnet maybe is not a great setup this morning. Sometimes you have to just say to yourself, it just might not be the right setup. We're right at the low, so we don't have a great level to shoot for on the downside, and price action is heavy, much heavier. We just got a big volume burst, a bigger volume to the downside. I'm turning off this magnet, going to rethink it. And I'm going to change that magnet. I could have done this on the control panel also. Okay, put on long and short, change custom level, and go to a high of day, low of day magnet. Now I have my orders. See, the problem is the low of day were below the price. So it doesn't work. It's just not the right setup unless if we were above the VWAP, we could test the VWAP if we were coming down to it. A magnet's just not my setup here this morning for the YM. It's just not a good setup. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't have a great way to go. Let me see something. So if we have high of day, low of day, if we choose long only, our order disappears on the downside, and we could trade the up magnet to the high of day. I don't think we're getting there. That's the problem. I don't think we're getting there. It's like it's more than 100 ticks away. I like the YM short, so I'm leaning towards scalping it short and maybe just watching it because there's not a great setup. There's just not a great setup. Normally it might just be a better setup short. So look, we have a long magnet. If price decides to explode to the upside, we have a YM test to the high, and the magnet is in auto mode. If it doesn't get there, we have our reverse continue, instant short or long. We can scalp the YM. Today, I'm just watching the MNQ because we just don't have a great YM magnet setup. It's the first time all in a while that we haven't had a good magnet setup for the YM. Now, some members are trading a YM range trade at the open,
1 minute now until we get the market on open
so we
imbalance.
might add that in as a trade because it's not working too badly. We have to do some extra testing on it. I don't like I don't know. I haven't looked at CL in a bit. Calvin, I'm not going there. Calvin, I'm not going there. I'm not buying second deviations, and I'm just not. Um, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I'm not doing it. I'm not tracking it. Francis, I don't know about oil right now because I'm not watching it
10
now.
seconds.
Oil was bullish before the open.
Order
Okay,
submitted.
here's our MNQ open.
Market on open imbalance. S&P 500
The
buy side
YM.
100
Watch
million.
it go to the
Nasdaq
Order
100
VWAP.
submitted.
buy
I
side
really will
15
go
million.
crazy
Dow
if it
30
does.
sell
Order
side
filled.
37 million. Mag 7 buy
NQ
side
expanding
10
the
million.
target, trailing, expanding the target way up, trailing. We're now at the VWAP on the MNQ, trailing the MNQ. That's our trade above the VWAP. Expand the target, folks. Expand that target to the high. Target to the high. Trailing, doing a trail on this baby, right? Trail.
Order submitted.
YM scalping long. Trailing the MNQ all the way up, all the way up. Should get to the high, but if it takes me out here, I'm okay with that. Turning
Order
off my
filled.
YM magnet. Stop to safety on the YM. Moving up my target. Okay, MNQ was an awesome trade. YM scalping to the upside. Turning off my magnet because it's just the orders are annoying me.
Order filled.
Oh, I was just getting ready to expand my YM stop. So we made a couple of $100 on the YM, $356 on the MNQ. Open 356, 200 on the YM, 200 on the YM. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Nice. Look at that pullback on the MNQ. Watch for reversal signal, ARS reversal. Now, I'm not dying to jump in short. when you have a market that goes up so big, but it's very possible it'll be a valid signal. Let's watch. Now, I'm not going to forget, we still have consumer confidence. I want to thank everyone on YouTube that watched us. That's our market open. What an awesome open it was. Over 300 bucks on the MNQ open, 200 on the YM. Very nice market open. There's your reversal signal. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Have a great Christmas, everybody on YouTube, and we'll see you next Monday streaming on YouTube.